Hey guys, God bless. It's Leslie. I'm gonna be teaching you this lesson for today. But right before we get into our lesson, we're gonna start out with worship, and we're gonna be introducing this new song. It's called "The Blessing." Some of you may or may not have heard it, but I hope you guys enjoy it. It's one of my favorites.
You and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord, turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord, turn his face toward you and give you peace. His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord, turn his face toward you and give you peace. We receive it. Amen. Receive your promises over our lives. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you.
The first king's name was Saul. Unfortunately, Saul was not a really good king. So Samuel had someone else that he chosen to become king, and it was David. It's the same David as in David and Goliath. But David did not become king right away. Saul was still king for a really, really long time of Israel. Now, King Saul had a son named Jonathan. Usually the next person in line in the family was supposed to become the future king. That would have been Jonathan, but remember, God has chosen David to become the next king. Meanwhile, King Saul had chosen David to become the lead of his armies into battle. So he wanted him to lead his armies into battle when there was war. David kept winning the battles after battles, and he was becoming very popular with the people. So King Saul became really jealous of David. But what about Jonathan, you might ask? Well, was he jealous of David? Do you think he didn't want him to become king? No, actually, Jonathan and David were really, really good friends. They were best friends, if you can say. He actually supported him, and he wanted him to become king. And he was very happy for David, and so he wanted to give David a gift. And you might ask, what would he give David as a gift? So he gave David his robe, his belt, his sword, and a bow. King Saul saw how David got more and more popular with the people, and that made him even more mad. It made him so mad that he threw something at David. He threw a spear. If you guys don't know what a spear is, it's a really long stick with an arrow on the top, a really, really sharp arrow, and it could kill people. So he threw that at Saul. He didn't stop there. Later, King Saul told Jonathan and all his servants to kill David. But Jonathan was a really good friend, and he let David know and helped him hide from his dad, who was King Saul, to not kill him. Saul calmed down and promised that he would not hurt David. But do you think he kept his promise? No, he didn't. He tried to kill David again. And when that didn't work, he sent other men to do it and to try. Well, Jonathan was determined to keep his friend David safe from his dad. And he wasn't going to let anything happen to him. He was going to protect him no matter what, because he was getting chased down by his dad. So they decided to make a plan. So the plan was that they were going to have a feast with King Saul. But instead, he told Jonathan that he was going to go and hide. And he hid. So David went to go hide in a field. He asked Jonathan to make up a story about where he had gone. That way they could find out whether King Saul was still out to get him or not. If Saul was like, yeah, that's fine, then that meant David was safe. If Saul got angry, that meant Saul was still out to get him. So we're gonna open our books to the 1st of Samuel 20:14 to 15. So it says, always be kind to me, just as the Lord is. Be kind to me as long as I live. Then I won't be killed and never stop being kind to my family. So, of course, Jonathan would need to tell David what happened at the feast. But instead of going to talk to David about it, he was going to do something else. So he was going to send him a secret message. Jonathan planned to either shoot an arrow close or far from David as a secret message to show David that he should stick around or run far, far away. So things didn't go very well at the feast with King Saul. On the second day of the feast, Saul had threw a spear at Jonathan, his own son. Jonathan hurried to the field and shot arrows to send his secret message to David. His arrows shot far, far away, which meant he was trying to tell him to run. But that wasn't the end. David and Jonathan met up one last time. Jonathan told David that his friendship would continue even though David had to leave. He said that, and this is what he said. It shows in 1 Samuel 24:42. Go in peace. In the name of the Lord, we're promised to be friends. We have said, the Lord is a witness between you and me. He is a witness between your children and my children forever. David left and Jonathan went back to the city. It's pretty amazing to think that despite whatever was going on, despite that King Saul was Jonathan's dad and was out to go kill David, Jonathan and David stay as friends. They took care of each other, they were there for each other, and that's what real friendship is. Everyone except Jonathan accepted Jonathan to become the next king of Israel, but God chose David to be king instead. I mean, put yourself in Jonathan's shoes. If you come from a place where you're supposed to be given a very, very powerful job and someone else gets it, it's kind of, you know, sometimes people would become really jealous of it or just become mad. But no, Jonathan was very happy for his friend that he got the job. So Jonathan could have just stopped being friends with David and joined his dad's plan, but he didn't. He was there for him as a friend and was always there for him. Jonathan kept David safe. Jonathan was a good friend to him, and he showed him what a good friendship was. That's what friendship looks like. That's what real love looks like. And that is the loving of our friends in the same way that God loves us. So the bottom line of the story is friends love one another no matter what. So like I said, the bottom line is friends love one another. Apostle Paul shows us in the Bible how it really is to love. And it says in 1 Corinthians 4-7, it says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not brag, it is not proud. It does not keep track of other people's wrongs. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It never gives up. That's what love is. So next time you have an awesome new toy or you have a cool new shirt and you want to show your friends, you share it with them and you show them, and you and your friends always are there for each other no matter what. You love each other no matter what, just how God loves us.
Hi everyone, I hope you had an awesome week. I know some of you guys have went back to school already and started virtual learning. I know it's another year that you have to adjust, but I hope you guys are giving it your best and you guys are staying focused. And I want to go ahead and give a thanks to Leslie for that lesson. And we're going to go ahead and get into today's activity. I tried to make it as artsy and creative as possible. You guys know that you can alternate and add your own little creativity to our arts and crafts that we do or our activities that we do. You're gonna need today just cardstock paper or just plain paper. You need markers and you're gonna need pens or pencils, totally personal preference. And yeah, that's about it as far as supplies goes.
All right, guys, so for this activity, I titled it Friends, and I gave it the theme of Sour Patch Kids because friends can be sour and then they can be sweet. So we're gonna go ahead and make 3 columns, good, bad, and I wrote whoa. And what does the whoa stand for? Why on earth? You're probably thinking, huh? So I wrote why on earth because why on earth are these people considered good or bad? So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the first verse And that's based on our friend Judas. So we're going to read Matthew 26:14-16. And it says, "Then one of the 12, the one called Judas, went to the priest chief and asked, 'What are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you?' So they counted out for him 30 silver coins. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over." That tells us right there that Judas was a bad friend. So we're going to go ahead and mark him in the bad friend category. I wrote a little star. You can put a circle, a sticker. But that tells us that he was a bad friend. And why was he a bad friend? Because he handed Jesus over. And friends don't turn on friends. So we're going to go ahead and write here under woe, why, or give a reason for each of these verses as to why they are considered bad and good. And Judas was bad because he turned Jesus over. Okay, so our next verse is going to go based off of Exodus 4:10-16. It is a lot to read. So we won't fully read it, but we can go ahead and skim through it. And basically here what we're seeing is the relationship between Moses and God, and him telling God that he's not equipped to go ahead and speak to the people because he's has a speech impediment. So he's telling God, please pick someone else. And God is telling him, well, why not Aaron? And Aaron is his brother. So we're going to go ahead and put Aaron in the good category. And why is that? Because not only are they brothers, but he accepted to help Moses with his speech problem and be able to speak to the people on his behalf. And I think that's definitely something that would be considered good, whether it's a friend or a family member. It's definitely good. So we're going to go ahead and put him in the good category for that. So we're going to go ahead and read 2 Samuel 15, verse 12 and 31. And here we have our friend Absalom. We're going to go ahead and read what kind of friend he is. So it says, while Absalom was offering sacrifices, he also sent for Ahithophel the Gileonite, David's counselor, to come from Gilo, his hometown. And so the conspiracy gained strength and Absalom's following kept on increasing. So we see here how Absalom, even though he is David's son, he conspired against his dad, and that is definitely not considered a good friend or even a good son. So he's going to be put in our bad category, and we're just going to keep it short and simple as to the why. He wasn't being a good son, and he was conspiring with his dad's enemies. Okay, so to finalize our activity, we're going to go ahead and base it off of 1 Samuel 20, verse 12-15, and that's about our good friend Jonathan. I know I gave it away, but how do we know Jonathan is a good friend? Because we just learned about it in our lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and give him 2 stars because he's the real MVP. And as far as why is because he looked out for David even when his father didn't like David. He chose to be a good friend. So to close out, I'm going to give you guys 3 more verses that I want you to read and decide if these people are good people or bad people. So it's going to be Ruth 1:16-17, Philippians 2:19-24, and Luke 1:39-45.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that activity. You guys can continue to add on to it as far as any other verses or any other stories that you read, as far as good friends, bad friends go, and the whys. And you guys can definitely feel free to share that on the Zoom whenever we go ahead and have our Zoom meetings. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off our activity with the memory verse for the month, and it's going to be Proverbs 17:17. I'm going to read it in Spanish and I'm going to read it in English. So I'm reading it in English first. Proverbs 17:17 says, "A friend loves at all times. They are there to help when trouble comes." And I'm going to go ahead and read that in Spanish. Un amigo es siempre leal y un hermano nace para ayudar en tiempo de necesidad. And that was Proverbios 17:17. So I hope you guys have an awesome week and continue to stay focused with your virtual learning, and I hope to see you guys soon. God bless.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson and the craft for this week that Yamil had prepared for you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you enjoyed your week. God bless.
Thank you, parents and kids, for taking the time to watch and learn a new Bible story today. Have a great day and a new blessed week. See you next time.